where the wrestling truth resides.
What was
Mike Bradley, Sanjay, stuff like that.
The biggest name you brought under IWE in your time?
I don't know how would you vary a biggest name, like most successful or most biggest draw?
Like whether they were in WWE or was like the hottest thing at the time, depending on.
The hottest thing I ever got was it's before going viral went viral. We had Honky Tonk Man up a lot.
Yep.
But I remember a local newspaper catching wind of me bringing up Honky Tonk Man for a show in Fairfield, and literally, I want to say this is a small time newspaper. Literally every newspaper in the state picked up this article and put it in their papers. So like a full spread.
Oh wow!
Across the board, full buckshot. So like it went from one small town local newspaper to Fairfield, and then went everywhere. I think it was like the Morning Sentinel or something, and it went everywhere. And because of that, we had a packed house in Fairfield. There was like 250 people in there for Honky Tonk Man.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and this is back before viral went viral. Like that was the thing. Like I was just like, oh my god. And I remember because I think me and Sonny were putting this show on together, and this was a totally different time where Sonny came back and wanted to be a part of IWE and help out. And me and Sonny, I think, tagged up to face Honky, and I think Jay Gillette. I think that was the tag. I can't remember. It's been a minute. It was a good show, man. It was an all-around good show. That's great response. And we carried that over because we were running there monthly. Literally for a few months, we were having 200-plus crowds after that because people kept in the back.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Here's a name for you. I'm sure you remember this one.
One Warrior Nation? Yeah. Oh, my God. I will give him credit, though. He did draw me 236 people at Cityside.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But this is what he it's construed some information. So when I first got contacted by him, I was informed like he was like a body double in WCW for the Warrior. Mm-hmm. And that's why he called himself One Warrior Nation, because that was like the Warriors thing in WCW. That's what I thought. Well, that's what I was told. And I was like, okay. And I saw him. I saw pictures of him. I didn't realize until I saw him in person how short he was. Yeah. I saw him. Like on the pictures that he sent me, he looked great.
Great.
But I can see this. And now that back then, there's no way to check that stuff.
No.
Not like now. So I was like, bring him in. And he drew a huge crowd. And I'll say this, every time after that, he still drew me like 200 people anytime I brought him in.
Damn.
I had to stop using him because of an incident that happened.
And Kyle just pulled up the best video of all time. So
yeah, but if you could, I don't know, you can't really put the audio on here because you have the copyright issue because of the it's got the Warriors music. But it's still on Ricker, right? Well, the first time he came in, I didn't have him wrestle Ricker. I think the first time I brought him in, I brought him wrestling JJB. And if you could find that video, I don't know if you can find it. It's his work name was The Real JJB. And he wrestled One Warrior Nation. And if you could hear the reaction from those 236 people, it was deafening. And I remember I put, God rest his soul, Joey Gleitz with One Warrior Nation to stay with him for when he went out to do merch. There was like a line of people. And he was selling all this shit.
Right.
I remember Joey Gleitz walking out back, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he was just kept fumbling around in his pants. He empties out his pockets, and wads of money just fall on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, this ain't mine. I wish it was. I'm like, whose is that? He's like, that's his money. And then he comes in, and in like this little thing he had his pictures in, he just drops it, and there's money falling out everywhere.
Is this
like,
it?
What?
This must be it.
Wait for his entrance. It used to go, it went loud last I remember. sound quality is terrible on my end.
Yeah.
I like how you turn down the volume. Like, that's loud. Turns down the volume. Like, I just went down. He was so fired up. He was blown up after the entrance.
I imagine because it was short and just like crazy.
See, from here, it's hard. Like, this is like when he sent me pictures. He was an avid bodybuilder. I was like, I believed it. I didn't know. Because back then you couldn't vet this stuff. Now you can vet everything on the internet. Like, you can put shit out.
You stand in person, you look at him, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, he was mad short, yo. He was mad short. But he got a huge reaction, and he drew me a crowd every time. Him and Shockwave, they were great. Like, I try to do things that back then I was big in entertainment value, because I wanted to bring in a lot of family stuff, because we were at a family fucking restaurant. Like, like I didn't want. I was like, let's do it, keep it family oriented. And then I was like, okay, let's start doing more adulty stuff, like fans bring the weapons matches and cage matches and barbed wire stuff. Like, there was times it would fluctuate. It all depends. All depend on what was going on, what was trending in the world. I was good about listening to the news and figuring out what was hot and what was not.